Hi, this is Gustav, the developer of TupiTube. Welcome to our channel. This is our 8th version of our workshop for TupiTubers. Amazing! And there are a lot more of workshops to do, so stay tuned. First of all, I want to say hi to all the guys that are joining the transmission. Thank you for being there. And please let me know if the sound is fine, if you can hear me in the right way. Okay? Thank you. Well, the theme for this workshop, as you already know, is fire. So we are going to play with fire. Our first exercise is a flare. We're going to animate some kind of flare. So, to start the exercise, I'm going to explain you the structure of the animation we are going to do using TupiTube app. So let's start. This is the example done. It's finished. So let's watch it to understand what we are going to animate. It's a flare, it's exploding and vanishing into the air or something like that. It's very basic, but it's a very good exercise to start playing with fire, to understand the behavior of the fire in terms of movement. Okay, so let's take a look to the frame by frame structure of this exercise. As you can see, the flare starts very small and it starts growing, and then it flies up and spread over the screen. Then it is split in several parts, and all of these parts start to vanishing, and finally it disappears. That's it. That's what we are going to do. I'm having some issues with the app version of TupiTube, so today we're going to do this exercise using TupiTube Desk. Okay, so let's start. For this exercise, I'm going to use the usual value for the FPS parameter, frames per second parameter, which is 12. Okay, now as usual, we're going to start picking the colors for my animation. So here is my first advice. When you are going to animate fire, the best color for the background is black or a dark color, because it will help to show the movement of the fire in a better way. Okay, so my background for this exercise is going to be black. Now, for the flame, remember that the flame actually has two parts. The external part is the yellow shape, and in the inside you will see there is a smaller shape in red. You can use more colors, but this is the basic version of fire that you can animate, so we are going to play with that. Oh, hi Robot Fighting League, very welcome to our workshop. Thank you for joining. Okay, so for this exercise I'm going to start doing the yellow part, the external part of the flame to start. Okay, so the field color I'm going to pick is some kind of yellow, and for the contour, for the border, I'm going to use some kind of orange. Let's check the thickness of my pencil, and I think I'm going to use 8 for this exercise. Very good. So now we can start. I'm going to leave the first frame empty, and I'm going to start from the second one, And let's start. I'm going to draw the first frame, drawing the flare very small. Let's add the third frame, and now the flare is going to start growing a little, but not much. Don't forget to draw the sharp borders, the spikes of the flame. You know how fire is, right? Now for the fourth frame, the flare keeps spreading and it gets bigger, a little more bigger. It's okay. Fifth frame, same thing, same procedure. Our flame is getting stronger and bigger. And it's always spreading. As it gets bigger, it's always spreading. Great. Nice to know, Robot Fighting League, that you like this workshop. Okay, so let's keep working on it. Seventh frame, and now same thing. The flame keeps growing, keeps getting aggressive. Or flare is anger, or something like that. Now, oh, sorry, I left this frame empty, so I'm going to delete it. Boom. Okay. Now from this point, or flare, I'm going to start floating on the air to create the effect we watch it here. Pay attention how the flare gets away from the floor and start flying, if you wish, or floating on the air. So we are going to do the same here. So in the seventh frame, my flare is going to take off, but it will keep spreading. It will keep spreading, and of course it will keep getting bigger. Oh, sorry, this is a book of the software. Let's see if I can make it this time. Great. Oh, sorry. Remember that I say that my flare started to fly, so let's do it. Let me fix it. Okay, perfect. Now the flare is on the air. It will start to get a little flat, but it will keep spreading to the sides of the scene. So let me put it in this way. It will keep moving into the air. It will keep getting bigger toward the sides. So once again, I need to fix this, so excuse me for the inconvenience. Holy crap. Okay, I'm going to do a trick while we fix this. I'm going to copy the previous frame and I'm going to edit the flare more or less like this. This is more or less what I wanted to do. Yes, Robot Fighting League. This is vector animation. Okay, let's start with the next frame. This time the flare is going to split into 3 parts. You can split it in more parts if you wish. I'm going to do it in 3 parts. So the flare will keep moving to the top of the scene, but this is the point where the flare starts to vanish. Oh, in fact, I forgot to do something important. In the moment that the flare starts to vanishing, I'm going to change the opacity, the transparency of the field value to get a better result, more interesting. So I'm changing the transparency value right here. I'm putting a minor value, and I'm going to apply it to this little flare. Now let's add the other 2 pending flares. This is in the middle, and in the right side we will have another flare. Okay, we are done. Now in the next frame I'm going to keep animating these 3 flares, and they will keep moving to the top of the scene, but they will get a little smaller in every new frame until they just disappear. So let's do that. Now I need to start making all these flares smaller because they are vanishing in this point of the animation. Okay? We're almost done. Let's add a couple of new frames. I'm sorry if I'm doing this too fast, but I want you to understand the concepts of the exercise, the steps. I'm not expecting to make a perfect exercise. I just want you to understand what I'm doing. Okay. Ha, very funny robot fighting league. Anyway, you can keep writing in English, no problem at all. Okay, let's see how it looks right now, our animation. Oh, I'm going to add an empty frame in the end when the flare disappears from the scene. Okay, this is the partial result of my animation. As you may notice, I'm taking note of this version of the exercise. We need to add the red part, the flame inside the bigger flame. So let's do that. I'll try to do a very basic version. So let's try to make it fast so we can advance and make the second exercise. So I'm going to come here fast and I'm going to pick fill color red, no, border red, and the fill light red if you wish. This will be okay, I guess. And now all I have to do is to draw a little flame inside the bigger one. As you may notice, I'm doing this really fast. That's not the idea when you do this exercise, so please do it relaxed in your room, listening to music you like, you know, and taking all the time of the world you need to do this in the right way. Okay. Okay, I'm going to stop doing the exercise right here because we need time for the second part of the workshop. But I think that you have the idea of how to do it, so you can reproduce this exercise, right? So please, if you understood the steps you have to follow to make this exercise, let me know in the chat. I would like to know that I am explaining this in the right way, so I really appreciate it. Okay, now we have our exercise ready to export it, so let's do it. Let's export it. Let's post it on our social network as an anonymous project. So let's do it. Oh, first of all, I need to save the exercise. Let's save it as Flare. And then let's export it. My animation lasts 1.2 seconds. The ideal duration of an animation is 5 seconds for this exercise. So I'm going to export this animation for this scene 4 times, so I can make 5 seconds more or less. It will be okay, and my animation, I will call it Flare 2 because I already made one exercise similar to this one. Let's post it. Sure, Robot Fighting League is asking me for a resource to explore the tools of the applications. I will. Give me a second while I finish the workshop, and then I will give you the information you are asking. Anyway, you can go to our channel. There is a lot of tutorials there. I call them newbie tips. So you will find a lot of newbie tips in our YouTube channel. You are pretty welcome to browse our material. Okay. Now we are done here. So let's start with the second part of the workshop. For this second part, we are going to study 3 exercises made by me and for other friends. So what we animate in the first exercise was some kind of flare. But what about when you need to animate something like a wood fire? How to do it? So let's check some examples that I have in my collection. Give me a second. We are almost there. Workshop number 8. So let's start with this one, which is very basic and pretty fun. I'm tempted to do something. Let me know if you understand what I'm doing here or if you recognize the character. I'm going to open the vector background mode, and in some point I'm going to add this, and you will tell me if you recognize the character. Or if this character looks familiar for you. I just added a couple of eyes in the background in the vector foreground mode. I'm improvising right here, but I just want to play. Maybe you are familiar with this character. Maybe you watch it in some movie, maybe not. Please tell me in the chat if you recognize this character. It's part of a very nice movie that I love it. Okay, let's stop playing around and let's analyze the exercise, because that's the idea. Sorry. Okay, how I made this exercise. Let's analyze every one of the layers I create here. I use 4 layers. Let's see what is the function of every layer here. I'm going to disable the foreground mode. So the eyes will disappear. Okay, so what we have here in the first layer. First of all, let's take a look to the vector static background mode. In the background mode, all I did was the base of the fireplace, which is this kind of ring, and that's it. That's all I made here. Now, in the first layer, what I did was the illusion of the illumination created by the wood fire. So it's very basic. It is just a yellow ellipse with some kind of opacity that I scale. I make it bigger and then I make it smaller. That's all. But it's a very nice effect when you want to animate. This is an additional effect that you will like to add to your fireplace or your wood fire. Okay, that's what I do in the first layer. Let's analyze the second layer. What I do here. What I did here was a copy of the flames. But with transparency. I will talk about this layer later because it's not part of the main process. The main process of the animation comes here. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, you are Robot Fighting League. You are the first person donating money to our channel. That's oh my god, I'm really excited. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm so happy. Okay, You are the first person in the history of this channel making a donation in the super chat. Beautiful, thank you. Okay, let's study the third layer because it's really important. This is the base to create a wood fire animation. And how to do it? Well, let's disable the onion skin so we can understand the movement of the flame in every frame. So fire behaves a little like water, more or less, as a fluid, but with additional random spikes from time to time. But it's similar. So what you have to do is to define some movements like waves in the shape of the main flame, if you wish, to achieve the illusion of fire. That's what you have to do. Once again, thank you so much, Rod Fighting League. Okay, so this requires practice. Maybe in the first time you try to make your fire animation, it won't look so great, but it's okay because it's part of the process. What I want you to understand is that you have to simulate some kind of fluid when you are animating fire. Okay? This is the first layer you should try before all the additional components like the base or like this effect that I added in the second layer. You should focus on this one. Once you have animated the yellow external shape of your wood fire, then you should care about the inner shape, the inner flame. Of course, you will have to change color and use some kind of red. And another tip that can be very useful for you is to try some transparency, some alpha value for the color, so it will look more realistic, more like fire. So you will want to do that. Okay, so basically these two layers are the base of this exercise, so you can reproduce it. Okay, the other stuff, for example this layer, is just an additional a complementary effect that will help your animation to look better, a lot better. This is without the trick of the illumination in the base, but let's add it so you can recognize the difference. See? So when you see this, the final result, it's great. It's great. Question: do I use a mouse to draw? No. Currently I use a pen table. To draw because doing it with the traditional mouse is really hard. So if you want to become a real professional animator someday in your life, I recommend you to afford a pen table, even a cheap one, but you should have one. Okay, this is our first example of the second part of the workshop. Let's take a look to another exercise made by my friend Jorge Andrade. It's a wood fire, and this is really professional. So let's take a look at the final result of this animation. I would like to know your opinion about this animation. Please let me know in the chat. I would like to know if you like this result. From my point of view, it's very professional and very realistic. It was made by Jorge Andrade, as I mentioned before. He is from Venezuela and it's a great animator. So if you can pay attention to the details of this animation, you will notice that he used a similar effect related to the illumination trick in the base of the fireplace, of the wood fire. See how the light blinks a little here? This effect is great. It's great. Thank you for the comment, Robot Fighting League. You are making this workshop really cool. Yes, thank you, Tails. It's a very, very good example. So let's pay attention to some details of this. It has 4 layers too. In the first layer, you will find the effect of the illumination, the light of the flame. In the second layer, you will find the fire, which it breaks in little parts, which is a great trick. Look how the flame splits in several parts. I really like this. What do you think? Look, pay attention to how in every frame the flame splits. It's really, really professional. It looks simple, but it's hard to achieve this level. Oh, Thales, thank you. Thank you for sharing your exercise with us. Now, in the third layer, there is the illumination of the wood. This is not fire, actually. This is light on the woods of the wood fire. And in the last layer, you will find just the wood, pieces of wood, and that's it. Finally, I'm going to show you, but so fast because we are running out of time here, the last exercise, which is a torch. This is a torch example, very, very basic actually. It's not so realistic as the previous one, but it helps. It helps. The idea is that you can start with basic exercise. Don't try to create the bigger fire realistic animation of the world in your first try. Start with a basic flame. This exercise, for example, is pretty basic and it only requires 15, more or less 15 frames, which is very few. Start with things simple like that, and then as soon as you start getting experience, you will be able to develop something more complex, something more realistic or whatever. But it's the experience what gives you the power to evolve as animator. Okay? I'm not going to create the second exercise because it will take me another 30 minutes, and the idea is to create 30 minutes workshops for you. So all I have to say additionally is that all these exercises are available on our tubetube.com platform, so you are very welcome to download the source files of these examples and open them from your TubeTube desk installation and study them and reproduce them and modify them, because this is the idea of this project, that you can get access to our examples, to our source files. Let me see if I can find easily the exercise we made this morning, maybe. Oh yes, there it is. This is the flare we did this morning. So what is important of the platform? That you always have access right here in the bottom of the player. You will have access to the source file of any animation. In my profile as Gustav, you will find all the examples I have made in the workshops. Give me a second, Tails, and I'm going to look for your exercise. Give me a couple of minutes, no, a couple of seconds, and we will watch your exercise. This is my user profile, and here you will find, for example, this example and the source file. Remember, you always will have access to the frames behind the animation, so you can learn how to reproduce it. You will be able to study the structure of the animation to understand how it works. It's a really great exercise made by my friend Cristian Marmolejo, who is Tails. Really great exercise. He made it without color. I added the color, and I need to talk to him to work together in another project. That would be great. Okay, let's keep looking for the other examples. I want you to recognize them. Oh, for example, the torch. Here is the torch, and of course, sorry if I repeat this many times, here is the source file, so you are able to download it if you want to study this exercise. Okay, let's take a look to the exercise made by Tails. Let's check your fire exercise. Oh, it's the flare. You made the flare. Okay, really nice. I like the effect of the white dots you put in the background. Stars, maybe? Or that's part of the fire, I don't know. But I like the flare. It's a good start. I hope you make more exercise like this one, so you will get better experience making fire, but this is a very good start. Congratulations. Okay, that's it for now. I want to thank you for watching this workshop. I hope you learned a lot in this session, and stay tuned to the channel because we will be giving more and more workshops like this one. And that's all for now. Tubers, thank you for watching this workshop. Keep animating and see you in the next video.